Hey, to the people freaking out who have noticed that the sun is still in the constellation of Virgo, no, nobody's fucking with the dome. This is actually normal. So contrary to popular belief, all of the constellations are not 30 degrees. And it takes the sun 44 days to move through the constellation of Virgo. It's the largest constellation. I would have to double check, but it's either 42 or 44 degrees. Not all the constellations are the same size. The reality is that our calendar and our concept of time is not accurate to nature. It was divided the way that it was divided. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, to create a colony for a well-oiled labor machine and to keep everybody organized and on the same page probably, and also disconnected with the rhythms of nature. But anyway, no, this is not new. This is just people waking up and starting to look up at the sky and realize what's actually always been true, as opposed to just taking other people's word for everything all the time. Tropical astrology is a mathematical calculation that is 2,000 years outdated and is very inaccurate. Sidereal astrology or Vedic astrology is a lot closer, but again, any model that is using 30 degrees for every single constellation is not going to be quite right.
And the reason why it's not going to be quite right is because the tropical model of astrology that she just told you is not accurate, does not run off of 30 degrees of each constellation. It runs off of 30 degrees of the zodiac. What you just witnessed was her build a most marvelous straw man filled with very deceptive red herrings. She mentioned certain things about it being a popular belief that people think constellations are 30 degrees, which isn't really true. And then she also mentioned that, you know, you're being made to just be a worker and be a slave because people want you to math. See how people are demonizing math yet again? So let's get this out the way real quick. What she was talking about are constellations, okay? The backdrop of visible skies and the stars and all that. What we're talking about are signs. See that? They're based on mathematical divisions, all right? So clearly they're demonic. Once again, she made the insinuation that these calculations are off with nature and that they're trying to take you away from nature. But the constellations apply to a group of stars in the sky that's not in this nature. And the zodiac is applying to the sun's ecliptic path that governs the seasons here in this nature. I'm confused. So, based on her insinuation that the tropical model is based off of 30 degrees off of constellations, I have to remind you, no, it is based off of 30 degrees from the zodiac, an invisible space created by the sun's ecliptic path and the Earth's equator. And here you have it again, folks. The North Pole, the South Pole. This is literally the band of the zodiac, about 9 degrees on either side. It's a very thin belt, but the sun travels through this path, and when it meets with the equator, boom, we create the seasons. Aries and Libra upon this path create that equal day and equal night. This is the closest to nature you're gonna get, because this is why we divide it 30 degrees at a time. This has nothing to do with the constellations. So like a constellation having 44 degrees has nothing to do with the mathematical division of these 30 degrees here. To kind of compare the two and to say to use one or the other is completely irrelevant. It's a red herring. So she told you she didn't know why they divided into 30 days and then kind of insinuated some conspiracy, which is cute, but there's actually a reason. Let me let you know. The Babylonians figured it out. 365 days roughly that we revolve around the sun is also 360 degrees mapped through the ecliptic path. Let's go. So you can actually divide that 360 degree path 90 degrees each, and each 90 degree section, every zodiac season is 30 degrees. That's why it's 30 days. There's a calendrical and astronomical alignment with this, all right? A lot of people like to bring up the 13-day or 13-year lunar cycles and don't realize that you're talking about the 28-day orbit with the Earth and the Moon. But with the Moon and the Sun, it's going to be 30 days. This isn't made up. This isn't some kind of way to control you. It's math. Look, I know y'all don't like math. I know you don't. I don't like math either. I have a respect for math. It's the language of science, but I know you don't like math. But please, I'm begging you, can we stop spreading this disinformation? Can we stop claiming that these are demonic? I mean, maybe math is demonic. I don't know. Please. And by the way, for those of you who wonder what this article is, Astro.com, the GOATs, okay? They have this article, new dates for sun signs. You could type that in on Google or just go to Astro.com. They have those articles there. You know, for those of you who are interested in actually reading and learning this, I apologize for all the disinformation out there. I know it's not easy to have to sift through this, but I'm going to keep doing my job per usual. But in conclusion, a constellation is not a zodiac sign. And zodiac signs are not constellations. And a proper, healthy understanding of what the zodiac is will save you from looking and sounding foolish in these streets.